Hey guys, so for today's video I wanted to address some regrets that I kind of have about the birth of Harper and maybe talk about some things that I hope to do differently if we ever do decide to have another child. So of course it goes without saying that I do not regret giving birth to Harper. I do not regret, I mean, the story of her birth is beautiful and it's wonderful, but I guess I just wanted to talk about some of the things that have been running through my mind, some of the things that I think could the story have gone differently if I would have done this. So these are kind of just like the things that run through my mind. So the first thing that I kind of always wonder about is what would have happened if they would have broken my water a lot earlier. I was in active labor for 33 hours before my water broke, and I really feel like if my water would have broken earlier on, more progress would have been made. Maybe I could have avoided having the epidural, because the reason that I had the epidural was not because I wasn't handling the pain. It was because I was so exhausted and tired, and I really just thought that I needed to get some rest to build up my strength for the delivery. Not that that's an excuse, or not that there's anything wrong with getting an epidural for pain. I was in pain, but that was, and maybe that clouded my judgment a little bit, but I really just wonder what would have happened if I would have, if I would have demanded that they break my water much earlier on. I feel like, could I have progressed a lot quicker? And then instead of me having the epidural, I could have been walking around and helping her descend. Again, these things, they don't really matter because that's not how it went, but it's just something that I think about. Another thing is I kind of wish that I would have stayed home a little bit longer and had more time in the water. My bathtub and my water helped so much for pain management, and I headed off to the hospital thinking that birth was going to happen pretty quickly, and it didn't happen more quickly. I wish I would have stayed home a little bit longer. And then another thing was I did end up with chorioamnionitis, which is an inflammation of the fetal membrane, so the fetus, my baby, and the placenta, due to some bacteria that was introduced, most likely because of all the cervical checks that I was having. And so I wish that I would have turned those down, especially because they weren't doing anything for me. All the times that they tried to strip my membranes, they did nothing until the last one. So yeah. So anyways, those are kind of the things that run through my mind. If I would have done these things, would labor have gone differently? Would I have been able to have a successful VBAC? As for having another baby, I'm not really even ready to think about that right now. I'm still enjoying my newborn baby girl, but I do ponder what I will do differently if we do decide to have another baby. A lot of things have to line up before we take that leap. Being in a more secure position financially and even physically. I want to get in better shape physically, because I feel like when doctors looked at me and saw that I was overweight, they did have a concern about whether or not I could have a successful vaginal delivery. And it upped my risk, because they said that there was more layers to cut through if I did have to have an emergency C-section. And so they weighed that risk in with whether they were willing to see me or not for a VBAC. So these are the things that I would hope to do differently next time if we ever do decide to have another child. Okay, so number one is I hope to get into better physical condition, not only for the doctors to feel more comfortable, but also for my body to be more, have more strength. I think that's self-explanatory. I also will deny physical checks. I'd love to have a home birth next time. This time I didn't really want to have a home birth because I did kind of worry about that risk of rupture just the tiniest bit, and I wanted everybody to feel comfortable, and I wanted myself to feel comfortable to know that if something were to happen, that we were right there and there were doctors surrounding us, and in an emergent situation everything could be taken care of. Being that I went through 39 hours of labor, and being that I got to 9 centimeters and all of that, and having the doctor tell me that I had a great pelvis for birth and everything like that, I really feel more confident in my own body and in my ability to birth. And so I think that next time I will feel more confident about approaching a home birth. That being said, between now and that time, if it ever were to come, I am going to need to find an excellent home birth midwife and a doula. The whole time during this last pregnancy, I said that I wanted a doula, and I did. That was a huge thing that I wanted for my birth, was to have a doula, but finances just did not work out, and it was so busy with everything that had happened this year that it just kind of got swept under the rug, and I didn't end up having a doula at my birth. And I really feel like it would have been beneficial for pain management and for just that encouragement. Basically, how my labor went was, I was in the hospital. Well, after I went into the hospital, when I was in the hospital, I sat in my bed and I just breathed through the contractions. That was my approach, and I just feel like maybe if I had the advice to maybe change positions, or I don't know, just have a different mentality throughout the contractions, maybe, I don't know, maybe I would have coped a little bit better, and maybe I would have made it longer before I asked for an epidural. But that being said, if I were to do a home birth, I think I would definitely need that support. So again, that's going to be a big priority if and when we ever get pregnant again, that we have a doula and that we have a great midwife. Another thing that I would do differently next time is I would want to take a birthing class. This time around, again, we were so busy with all of the tragedies that was happening around us, and we were just broke. We every dime that we have to be very careful with, because Robert's not working right now. And I just felt like maybe I could follow my body's lead and I would be okay without a birthing class. But I really feel like it would have been beneficial. Having gone through labor, I think that next time around I will want to take a birthing class. So those are the things that I feel like I would do differently in my next pregnancy, if and when we ever do decide to have another child. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. Again, this is more so just an exploration of ideas, not necessarily that I regretted the way that Harper's birth went, but just those things that keep nagging me in the back of my mind on, you know, what coulda, woulda, shoulda type of thing. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Bye.